follow without fainting, bowing at your throne, Lord. To caminar, Señor, seguissing desmayar, Señor, postrado alte, he knows. Only you, Lord. I love only you, Lord. And never looking back to follow in your path, Lord, to follow without fainting, bowing at your throne, Lord, and never looking back.
If they'll follow the Lord. So let's get right to it today. If they'll follow the Lord. So let's get right to it today. Verse 1, in the 18th year, son of Nebat, Abijah became king of Judah. Now just to set the bearings here, remember that Jeroboam, he's the king of the northern tribes, Israel. All right? Rehoboam has been the king of the southern tribes. So right now we're seeing that there's a transition in the southern kingdom. Abijah is taking over for Rehoboam. He will now be the king of Judah. Okay, what do we learn about Abijah? Well, he reigned in Jerusalem 3 years. He didn't make it very far, did he? His mother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. Okay, Judah again is the southern kingdom. That's what we need to remember. All right, so now we got that guy down there as king. He committed all the sins his father had done before him. Ay, ay, ay. You know, Rehoboam was a mess, doing things that God hated. Well, now his son is doing the same thing. His heart was not fully devoted to the Lord. He did everything evil that his father had done. He wasn't fully devoted to the Lord as the heart of David, his forefather, had been. But look at verse 4. This is very insightful into God's character. Nevertheless, for David's sake, the Lord, his God, gave him a lamp in Jerusalem by raising up a son to succeed him and by making Jerusalem strong. So God is going to honor his promise to David, even though Solomon sort of fell away at the end. Rehoboam wasn't following God. Now Abijah isn't following God, but God is still going to honor the promise that he made to David. And even though this king here only reigns for 3 years, God raises somebody up in his place that's going to do a better job. For David had done what was right in the eyes of the Lord and had not failed to keep any of the Lord's commands all the days of his life. Wait, except in the case of Uriah the Hittite. Okay, so yeah, that whole adultery murder thing comes up again, but David's heart is what counts to God. Yeah, David made a mistake, but David's heart was always to serve the Lord. So look at this last line in verse 6. There was war. There was war. One thing that's happening now that didn't happen necessarily in Solomon's day is that the tribes are fighting each other, the north against the south against the north. There was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, Rehoboam south, Jeroboam north, throughout Abijah's lifetime. So that's a long time, his lifetime, not just his rule. As for the other events of Abijah's reign, all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? There was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. So Abijah keeps going after Rehoboam dies. Jeroboam lives through the death of. We still have fighting war. Abijah rested with his fathers. He was buried in the city of David, and Asa, his son, succeeded him as king. This is the son that God just referred to about raising somebody up that's going to do better. Well, here we go. In the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, that's where he is in the north, Asa became king of Judah. Again, when you read these texts, you got to pay attention to which kingdom you're talking about and who's king now, right? So now here comes a king named Asa, and he reigned in Jerusalem 41 years. Well, that's a long time. That shows you that God is with him, allowing him to continue. His grandmother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. This is a critical verse. We find a king who's willing to serve God in obedience. He does what's right in the eyes of the Lord, as his father David had done. So now Asa is being compared to David, and we're told just how he lives this out. He expelled the male shrine prostitutes from the land. He got rid of all the idols his father had made. You remember one of the big sinful things that both nations did, Israel and Judah, is they adopted the pagan practices of the people that used to live in the promised land. They started worshiping idols. Sometimes they'd even make calves, golden calves, and worship them. Okay, not with Asa. Let me get rid of the male prostitutes. Let me get rid of these shrines. We are going to depose our grandmother. Wow. I mean, it's serious, right? When you have to go to your grandma and say, look, get out of here. He deposes her from the position as queen mother. She had power. Because, why? She had made a repulsive Asherah pole. These are like the totem poles. The idols are cut into the form of the pole, and people bow down before them. Asa cut the pole down and burned it. He burned it in the Kidron Valley. So, Grandma, you got to go. You're not serving God. Although he did not remove the high places, just so you know, these are places that are built up so people can go up to that place and worship their pagan idolatry. That's how they normally did it. Some worshiped God from there, but God always required people to go to the temple in worship. All right, so Asa's heart was fully committed to the Lord all his life. There it is. We finally have a good king, a king that's walking with God. He brought into the temple of the Lord the silver and gold and the articles that he and his father had dedicated. Remember, those things have been brought out of the temple during Rehoboam's reign as he was plundered. Well, there was war between Asa and, here's another king now, Baasha. Again, we're told these tribes are fighting each other. These two warriors from south and north hate each other. But Baasha, king of Israel, is now the enemy of Asa. Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and fortified Ramah to prevent anyone from leaving or entering the territory of Asa, king of Judah. So Baasha, he creates like this border. Like you remember the Berlin Wall where East Germany couldn't hang out with West Germany? This is the same idea. Just to give you a quick idea, Ramah is there in the middle of that red circle, and the different colors in the countries there, that's the border between north and south. So it's not far from Jerusalem, a little bit north of Jerusalem. This fortification happens that's going to keep people out of the northern kingdom and keep them from crossing out of the southern kingdom as well. So Asa took all the silver and gold that was left in the treasuries of the Lord's temple and of his own palace, and he entrusted it to his officials and sent them to Ben-Hadad, son of Tabriman, the son of Hezion, the king of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus. So now Asa, this is kind of an interesting part of his life. Instead of being the guy that says, so Asa went before the Lord and asked and inquired of the Lord how to deal with Baasha, king of the north, Asa just makes his own plan. And his plan involves trying to create an alliance that can attack Baasha from a different angle, because Damascus is up to the north a little bit. Okay, so there was a treaty between me and you, he said, as there was between my father and your father. See, I'm sending you a gift of silver and gold. Now break your treaty with Baasha, king of Israel, so he will withdraw from me. So stop protecting the north. Take my silver, take my gold, but align yourself with me. This is Asa's plan. Ben-Hadad agreed with King Asa and sent the commanders of his forces against the towns of Israel. So now Ben-Hadad is attacking the northern kingdom towns. He conquered Ijon, Dan, Abel, Beth, Maacah, and all of Kinnereth, in addition to Naphtali. So he is waging war because he's willing to break the treaty he has with the north in order to receive the bounty that the south has brought him. When Baasha heard this, he stopped building Ramah and withdrew to Tirzah. So it works. King Asa issued an order to all Judah. No one was exempt, and they carried away from Ramah the stones and timber Baasha had been using there. With them, King Asa built up Geba in Benjamin and also Mizpah. So Asa gets the stuff. He creates some construction projects out of it. He definitely is now free of that barricade. Well, as for all the other events of Asa's reign, all his achievements, all he did in the cities he built, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? In his old age, however, his feet became diseased, so there's a problem in his body. We'll find out more about that when we go through Chronicles. Then Asa rested with his fathers and was buried with them in the city of his father David. And now we see a new king, Jehoshaphat, his son, succeeded him as king. Not much. Kingdom now, Nadab, son of Jeroboam. Okay, so now we see that Jeroboam, king of the north, has finally ushered off the stage of history. And now his son, Nadab, is going to take his place as king. He became king of Israel in the second year of Asa, king of Judah, and he reigned over Israel 2 years. Not very long, okay? Well, what do we know about him? Well, he did evil in the eyes of the Lord. This is the way to have a very short reign. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, walking in the ways of his father, and in his sin which he had caused Israel to commit. So again, back to idolatry, pagan worship. Baasha, son of Ahijah of the house of Issachar, plotted against him, and he struck him down at Gibbethon, a Philistine town, while Nadab and all Israel were besieging it. Now just keep in mind, we've already talked about Baasha as a king, but we got that little interlude where his Jeroboam's son reigned for a few years. Well, now we look at Baasha, and it says Baasha did what? He killed Nadab. Oh, that would end the reign. In other words, Nadab was assassinated so that Baasha could take power. He killed Nadab in the third year of King Asa, king of Judah, and succeeded him as king. So what do we have? We have just tons of political intrigue, but one thing you need to see is disobedience leads to a short stint as king. Well, as soon as he began to reign, he killed Jeroboam's whole family. Oh, well now watch. Do you remember what God said to Jeroboam? that he would be cursed, his descendants would be wiped out? Well, watch this. He did not leave Jeroboam anyone that breathed, but destroyed them all, according to the word of the Lord given through his servant Ahijah the Shilonite. So if you recall, earlier in the book of Kings, we heard God speak against Jeroboam, and we heard that God was going to utterly destroy him for his wickedness. He was more wicked than all of them. Well, here we see in 1 Kings 15, God is keeping his promise. Because of the sins Jeroboam had committed and had caused Israel to commit, and because he provoked the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger. So God keeps his promise. And Jeroboam's whole household is wiped out. As for the other events of Nadab's reign and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Again, here it comes. There was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, throughout their reigns. So the north and the south are fighting all the time. In the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, Baasha, son of Ahijah, became king of all Israel in Tirzah, and he reigned 24 years. All right, so he's assassinated Nadab, Jeroboam's son. He's taken the throne of the northern kingdom, Israel, and we're told that he reigned for 24 years, fighting with the southern kingdom all the time. But here's that line again. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, walking in the ways of Jeroboam and in his sin, which he had caused Israel to commit. Now that's the end of 15. But just to bring you a little clarity, let me just take you through a chart so you can see this in real time. You had Jeroboam, a ruler of the north, for 22 years. Rehoboam, a ruler of the south, Judah, for 17 years. The Israel kingdom of the north was then ruled by Nadab for only 2 years. Abijah was ruler over the southern kingdom for only 3 years. Then Baasha, after assassinating Nadab, he rules for 24 years in the north. And Asa, there's finally a king that says he obeyed God. He reigned for 41 years. And when he passed away, we got a guy named Jehoshaphat as the successor to the throne in the southern kingdom. But we won't find out anything about him until we move forward in the book. What do we know? Well, God is intent on giving us the history, whether we like it or not, whether it's good or not. I mean, this is one reason you can believe the Bible's true, because all these things about these people are bad. Well, not all of them, but a lot of it is bad. And if you're trying to